The void trembles with the roar of plasma cannons as the Archship Aurora tears through the remnants of the Kasari Nebula. An unnatural storm, born from a decaying star's magnetic collapse, lashes at the ship's deflective hull. Purple lightning streaks across space like cosmic veins. Each bolt threatens to breach the ship's shielding. Inside, alarms scream and bulkheads quake. On the command bridge, illuminated in flickering emergency crimson, Captain Lysine Varro stands braced, her gloved hands clutching the armrests of her command chair, as if by will alone she could hold the vessel together. Divert all auxiliary. Power to the shield lattice. If we lose structural integrity, we fall into the dead zone, she barks. Sparks explode from an overhead panel, raining shards of light and smoke onto the floor. Lieutenant Diel tries to reroute power through the damaged conduit, but the AI voice chimes in coldly. System failure in Deck 11. Hull breach imminent. And yet, even amidst chaos, Lysine's mind races not just with tactical calculations, but with the weight of what this mission truly means. They are not just escaping, they are seeking, chasing whispers, a chance, a truth hidden for over 5 centuries. Once, Earth was the cradle of human civilization, but after the Helian Wars of the 29th century, it was deemed lost, consumed, in fire, fractured by gravimetric implosions, and sentenced to legend by the galactic autarchs. They declared it uninhabitable, just another ghost world among thousands scattered across the stars. The last images captured by orbital arrays showed Earth's crust cracking open like a burning shell, magma rivers swallowing continents. It was thought to be nothing more than cinders spinning in the dark, but that was before they found the signal. Just 3 cycles ago, deep in the orbit of HD 2253A, a long-dead star in a forbidden system, an encrypted quantum transmission pierced the void. Its origin Earth, or what remained of it. The signal was ancient, wrapped in pre-Exodus encryption, and encoded with Earth-native languages thought lost to time, early Anglish, Indo-Paxan hybrids, and something older. A subharmonic pulse buried beneath the static that seemed to vibrate, on a level beyond normal space-time. Some said it was just residual radiation from an old satellite or a data ghost echoing from a lost probe. Others whispered it was a call, a warning, or a beacon. Dr. Alara Miles didn't believe in ghosts. She believed in code. She believed in signals. She believed in evidence. When she decoded the pattern and cross-referenced the geolocation, her blood turned cold. It's not just a signal, she had told Admiral Rokal. It's an invitation, a key, a map etched into time itself. Rokal, a battle-hardened veteran of the Uprising Wars, stood silent then. He had seen 100 systems die. He had watched stars blink out, watched worlds devour themselves in madness. But this was different. A forgotten world, speaking through time. If Earth lived, even as a shadow of what it was, then the truth of the Autarch's purge could unravel the very empire that silenced it. Now, in the present, the Aurora bursts free from the storm wall, its engines flaming against the cold dark. Its armor, blackened, scarred, still holds. The crew's breath catches as the swirling nebula fades behind them, and the final stretch of their journey opens like a wound in the stars. The solar graveyard, a no-fly zone enforced by Autarch sentinel fleets for over 3 centuries. No vessel has returned from its borders. Surveillance drones self-destruct at the boundary. Rumors speak of wormhole anomalies, phantom fleets, and anti-thought traps, psionic fields designed to distort memory and emotion. But now, for the first time since the Purge, a ship dares cross the threshold. Through the obsidian-tinted viewport of the command bridge, the warped silhouette of Mars looms into view, an ashen planet scarred by ancient bombardment. Its surface is a tapestry of shattered terraforming domes, rusted industrial husks, and dried oceans of crimson sand. Once a thriving colony world, Mars became Earth's burning mirror after the fall. A shuttle disengages from the Aurora's underbelly, a VA sleek armored craft christened Vigilant Sorrow. Inside, Captain Lysine Varro, Admiral Rokal and Dr. Miles strap into their harnesses, surrounded by a squad of advanced Revenant Marines, biologically enhanced warriors grown in stasis crucibles, from DNA strands preserved before the Exodus. Each Marine wears a black carapaced exosuit equipped with gravitic disruptors, nanoreactive plating, and phase blades capable of slicing clean through autarch alloy. The silence in the shuttle is sacred, no words spoken, just the low thrum of quantum stabilizers and the occasional ping of atmospheric sensors adjusting to Mars' unpredictable gravity. Rokal speaks at last, his voice heavy with memory. If the autarchs find out what we've seen and if they learn what we're here to prove, this war becomes something else, something bigger than any of us. Dr. Miles nods. It already has. Suddenly, a blip flashes on the nav array, a massive energy signature pulses from the Martian equator, buried beneath Olympus Mons. The mountain was always a symbol of Earth's lost ambition, a monument to human resilience. Now it's a tomb, or a doorway, orbiting above the red planet like a vulture is the obsidian spire, the autarch's mobile dreadnought fortress. Over 17 kilometers long, it bristles with weaponry that can erase moons, and within its core lies the Omega Core, a mythic AI mind believed capable of simulating an entire species' extinction timeline and rewriting it. Lysine grips her command console, eyes narrowing. This is it. We're either the last ghosts of a fallen race or the spark that reignites everything. Outside, twin autarch scouts break from formation and descend toward their position, scanning, analyzing, preparing to engage. The shuttle descends faster. Beneath them, Earth waits, silent, scarred, and alive. The vigilant sorrow descends through Mars' fractured sky, its heat shielding flaring as they breach the upper atmosphere. Outside, streaks of burnt ion trails stretch like ghostly claws across the blood-orange clouds. Debris from long lost Martian orbital stations floats aimlessly. Satellites, shattered colony beacons. Even the fossilized remains of a derelict defense ring built during Earth's final golden age. Mars is a cemetery of ambition, and each piece of space junk tells a story of a civilization that reached for the stars, only to be silenced by betrayal. Inside the shuttle, the crew remains focused. Below, Olympus Mons looms like a slumbering god, its slopes blackened with ash and glassy mineral deposits, and its summit scarred by something unnatural. Deep seismic readings show symmetrical cavities below the mountain, structures never recorded by the early terraforming surveys. Someone, or something, has been here since Earth's fall, altering the very bones of the planet. As they breach, low atmosphere, the shuttle activates its cloaking net, a lattice of magneto-gravitic distortions rendering it invisible to the eye and sensor alike. But even cloaked, they can feel it, that pressure, a weight in the air that isn't gravity. Dr. Miles stiffens in her seat, fingers twitching over her scanner. It's not electromagnetic, she says quietly. It's psionic, a field, broadcast across a fixed frequency. Not just thought. Something's thinking, beneath the surface. Rokal exhales slowly. AI. No. Older. More chaotic. This isn't just code. It's sentience. Fragmented, ancient, and wounded. The shuttle touches down on the base of Olympus Mons, dust and scorched wind sweeping around it. The air is thin but breathable. The revenant Marines deploy first, weapons drawn, scanning the shattered terrain with hawk-like precision. The landing zone is marked by a circle of collapsed spires, clearly artificial, made of obsidian-like alloy fused with Martian basalt. The structures hum faintly, pulsing in sync with a rhythm no one wants to call a heartbeat. Dr. Miles kneels beside one of the ruins. Embedded in the stone is an insignia, half-faded but still recognizable, not Martian, not autarch, Earthborn, a modified sigil of the Terran resistance from the early 29th century. But there's more, etchings below it in a language no human ever wrote, curved glyphs that shimmer subtly when light strikes them. This isn't graffiti, she murmurs. It's a lock. Suddenly the ground trembles. A wave of kinetic force erupts from deep beneath the mountain. The team stumbles, balancing themselves as the plateau splits along hairline fractures. From within those fractures, a low resonance echoes, a sound, like an ancient engine awakening, A vertical seam appears across the slope of Olympus Mons and opens. What rises from beneath is not a building. It is a ship, buried beneath Mars for over 5 centuries. Entombed beneath volcanic rock and sediment, the vessel emerges like a phoenix from ashes. Its hull is smooth, seamless, forged from an alloy unknown to even autarch archives. No visible propulsion, no visible weapons. Yet it radiates power, raw, untamed and timeless. Its surface is marked with hybrid inscriptions, early Earth languages, alien glyphs, and a single word burned into the upper arc of the hull. Remnant. Captain Lysine steps forward, unable to tear her eyes away. This wasn't made by humans, not entirely. This is a fusion, tech from before the Exodus, and something else, something post-human. Dr. Miles's scanner flashes crimson, life, signs, inside the ship. The moment is shattered by a sharp metallic whine. From the far ridge, figures appear, sleek humanoid forms of glistening silver with elongated skulls and eyes that flicker like dying stars. Autarch sentinels, more advanced than any the team has encountered before, not drones, not AI. Biosynthetic minds grafted into living bodies. They move with inhuman grace, weapons folding out from their arms like blossoms of death. Without a word they attack. Plasma arcs slice the air, scorching the Martian dust. The Revenant Marines engage instantly, returning fire with rail charges that crack the sky. Kinetic bursts that ripple the ground like earthquakes. One Marine drops, his chest plate melting under a direct hit. Another charges forward, deploying. An anti-phase blade that carves through a Sentinel's armored torso like liquid light through ice. Lysine joins the fray, drawing a particle lance from her hip and activating her neural targeter. She moves with trained precision, each shot finding its mark. Rokal, despite his age, fights like the warhound he once was, roaring as he hurls a gravity grenade that collapses the ridge and buries 2 Sentinels in tons of debris. But the Sentinels regenerate. Their wounds knit with impossible speed, nanites flickering over their skin. They are not just here to kill, they are here to protect, to guard the ship, to keep whatever lies within from ever reaching the stars again. Ilara Miles runs toward the vessel, ducking under energy blasts, voice hoarse as she shouts into her comm. "I'm reading a synchronization node. Something inside the ship is trying to interface with me. It knows we're here." A blast detonates behind her, throwing her forward. Blood trickles from her temple as she reaches the ship's hull and places her hand against the markings. They flare, brilliant white, and the battlefield freezes. For 3 seconds, everything stops. The Sentinels falter, their eyes dimming. The Marines hold their breath. A voice, ancient, layered, and impossibly human, echoes inside their minds. Designation: Terran Echo confirmed, initiating protocol Genesis Reclaim. The ship opens. A ramp unfolds, and from the light within a figure emerges. Humanoid, clad in obsidian armor with golden veins that pulse like a living heart. Its face hidden behind a helm shaped like a falcon's beak. And on its chest, the sigil of Earth. Not the new one, the original. The pre-autarch sigil of Terra Prime. Lysine raises her weapon. Rokal whispers, "By the stars." "It's one of us." The figure speaks. Its voice is calm, but filled with fire. "You came seeking the ashes of Earth, but I carry its flame." The Martian wind howls across the plateau, carrying with it the sound of something ancient stirring, deep. Beneath Olympus Mons, in the very crust of the planet, dust swirls around the open hull of the remnant, framing the armored figure standing at its threshold like a prophet of forgotten fire. For a heartbeat, the battlefield holds its breath. Captain. Lysine Varro tightens her grip on her particle lance, eyes locked on the figure. The Revenant Marines form a defensive semicircle, weapons raised, while the few remaining Sentinels, confused, disoriented, stand motionless as if awaiting further command. This standstill lasts only seconds, but in those seconds, the weight of centuries presses in. The figure steps forward, each footfall resonating not just through the ground but through the minds of those present, echoing like a buried memory returning to the surface. His voice is unlike anything they've heard. Not mechanical, not entirely human. It is a harmony of countless voices, time-warped and woven into a single strand. I am Commander Cale Thorne, first of the remnants, keeper of the flame, and last, protector of the Genesis Vault. You are not intruders, you are the echoes of a promise made long ago. Rokal lowers his weapon slowly, eyes wide with recognition. Thorne, that name. He was declared dead during the fall. A ghost commander. Mythic. The final defender of Earth's last stronghold. Kyle's helm recedes, revealing a face marked by both time and enhancement. Cybernetic nodes behind the temples, luminous veins tracing beneath the skin like golden circuitry. But his eyes are unmistakably human. Tired. Haunted. Burning with purpose. I died once, he says. But I was reborn by the will of the Genesis Core, a hybrid intelligence seeded by the Coalition before the Purge. I was preserved here beneath Mars, to awaken only when Earth's flame could be rekindled. Dr. Miles, eyes glistening, steps closer. The signal we received, was that you? Were you calling to us? Kyle nods. Not a call, a test. A spark sent through dead stars to see if humanity still burned bright enough to respond. You did. And now everything changes. Behind him, the interior of the remnant glows with life. Holographic interfaces pulse along the walls, organic and crystalline, forming shapes that feel like they belong more to a dream than a machine. Floating stasis pods line the chamber, some shattered, others glowing. Within them lie preserved minds, human, hybrid, possibly even alien. Genetic diversity archived as if preparing to reboot an entire species. Kyle walks them through the inner core of the vessel. This ship is more than a relic. It is a seed, one of 7 crafted in secret, after the Exodus, designed to survive planetary annihilation. Buried across the Sol system, waiting, Earth was never truly dead. It was locked, sealed by the autarchs with gravimetric charges that fractured the mantle but preserved the core. Lysine frowns. That means Earth is still alive. Kyle pauses before a vast central chamber. Suspended in anti-gravity fields are fragments of Earth's crust, living memory cores, embedded with neural data, culture banks, and consciousness echoes. Alive and healing. The Genesis Vault at Earth's core still beats, but we cannot reach it, not yet. The autarchs knew what we were building. They created the psionic net to suppress planetary AI resurrection. They scattered our kind, erased our histories, rewrote what humanity believed. You were meant to forget. Dr. Miles turns toward him, voice trembling. But why? What were they so afraid of? Kyle activates a projection. Above them, a map of the galaxy unfurls, star systems marked in red, lines of invasion, waves of subjugation, the expansion of the Autarch Empire. But then, a rupture. A place marked in dark blue, just outside the Perseus arm, a void, pulsing like a wound, because we were building something the Autarchs couldn't control, a unifying sentience. Not a single AI mind, but a galactic network of humanity-connected intelligences, an organic singularity. The Genesis Protocol would have elevated every human into a shared, conscious future, free of war, need, or control. And that terrified them. Suddenly the ship's proximity alarms blare, the Remnant's holographic interface flickers, displaying incoming trajectories. Autarch Dreadcraft, 6 of them, descending from orbit. The Obsidian Spire has dispatched its armada. In minutes the mountain will be consumed in fire. Kyle doesn't flinch. They've found us. They will not allow Genesis to awaken, but they are too late. He slams his palm into a control panel. Deep within the planet, tremors shake the cavernous vaults beneath Olympus Mons. Then, across the red wastes of Mars, other signals begin to pulse. Beacons buried long ago. Devices the Autarchs never detected. One by one they awaken, each one broadcasting the same signal. From beneath Valles Marineris, from the hollow domes of Cydonia, from the sunken cities beneath. The Martian seas, other remnant vessels begin to stir. Lysine's comm crackles. "Captain, this is the Aurora. We've detected multiple launches across the Martian surface, hundreds of objects rising into orbit. Kyle smiles, grim and resolute. They thought they buried us in ash. But we are the storm beneath the dust. Outside, the sky fractures in fire as Autarch destroyers enter the upper atmosphere. The Revenant Marines take positions at the ramp. Lysine loads her lance. Rokal activates his heavy armor core. "Are you ready for war?" Lysine asks, adrenaline roaring in her veins. Kyle's eyes burn like twin stars. "I've been dreaming of it for 500 years. The remnant lifts off, silently, smoothly, rising into the darkening sky, followed by a dozen more ships, forged from the ashes of forgotten worlds. Above, the first wave of enemy fire streaks downward. The battle for Earth's legacy has begun. Darkness unfolds across the void of space like a predator, uncoiling from sleep. The red curve of Mars spins slowly below, its horizon glowing with the golden burn of orbital re-entry. Dozens of remnant vessels, sleek, resurrected hybrids of alien architecture and human defiance, rise through the upper atmosphere in synchronized arcs, forming a phantom fleet that hasn't darkened the skies in 500 years. At their center, the remnant leads the charge. Kale Thorne at the helm, flanked by Captain Lysine Varro and her Revenant strike crew. The command deck pulses with energy, its panels responding not just to touch, but to thought. Neural synchronization has begun. The ship is learning them. It is alive and angry. Above them, the Autarch warships descend like obsidian daggers. The Obsidian Spire, their flagship, is a leviathan 2 miles in length, bristling with weaponry that can shatter moons. Its command AI, the Dominion Core, controls its battle group with godlike precision, each ship tethered to its mind like fingers on a hand. "This is what broke Earth," Rokal mutters from the weapons station, his voice low with awe and rage. "A single mind, directing millions. We fought, but they were faster than thought." Kale stands at the central console, his armored form casting long shadows across the holographic war table. "Then we become faster than memory." Outside, the first volley begins. Autarch warships fire plasma lances and graviton shards, tearing through the Martian atmosphere. The remnant fleet answers in kind. Beams of focused light, magneto-rail slugs and weaponry unknown to modern science. The void fills with color and fury, explosions blooming like dying stars. Within the remnant, the Genesis drive spins faster. A pulse of energy ripples outward, distorting the battlefield. For a moment, time fractures, slows. A sentient echo field expands, allowing the remnant ships to predict enemy movements milliseconds ahead of real time. It is enough. Autarch cruisers veer off course, weapons misfiring, coordination breaking. Captain Lysine leads a wing of interceptors, blades, of light dancing between burning wreckage. "Target their neural hubs. Sever the core's grip." She dives through the debris field of a destroyed dreadnought, railguns spitting tungsten shards that burrow into a destroyer's hull. The ship spasms, its weapons stuttering before it implodes, collapsing into itself as its artificial gravity is turned inside out. On the remnant, Dr. Miles interfaces with the ship's archive chamber. "I found something," she breathes. "The Genesis Vault. It's still active on Earth, but it's sealed by quantum-locking nodes buried beneath the Pacific Basin. We need to get there. That's the heart of everything." Kyle nods. "Then we break through the blockade." But the Autarchs are relentless. The Obsidian Spire turns its attention fully toward the remnant. Its forward cannons charge, the light from their barrels bright enough to blind sensors. This weapon ended Earth's last resistance, its blast capable of vaporizing continents. It fires. The beam cuts across space like a lance of divine fury. Kyle closes his eyes. The Genesis core pulses. Time folds. The remnant vanishes and reappears behind the spire. Space itself bends around them, the result of a short-range echo shift, an impossible maneuver made possible by the ship's hybrid engine. Without hesitation, Rokal unleashes a barrage. From the rear cannons, magnetic implosion warheads detonate along the spire's spine, cracking its armor and rupturing its internal systems. The Dominion core roars across frequencies, flooding all channels with psionic scream. You cannot reclaim what is already ash. Earth is mine. Memory is mine. Kyle's voice is calm, but ironclad. Then we burn your name into extinction. With a final sequence keyed in, the remnant charges its Genesis lance. A beam of harmonized energy, part matter, part memory, erupts from its prow, piercing the spire's central nexus. The blast tears through the ship, unraveling its data lattice and obliterating the Dominion core in a flash of psionic silence. Across the battlefield, autarch ships lose coordination. Without their hive mind master, they flail like blind beasts. One by one, the remnant fleet dispatches them, precision and fury dancing together like twin blades of vengeance. Silence settles over the battlefield. Breathing hard, bruised and bloodied, the crew of the remnant watches as the last enemy vessel spirals into the Martian atmosphere, its trajectory ending in a crater of molten glass. But there is no celebration. The war is not over. Kyle turns toward the Earth, visible now as a distant sapphire orb beyond Mars. It's time. We return home. The fleet pivots, 12 surviving remnant ships now fueled by purpose and fury. As they engage slipstream drives, a voice echoes once more, through the ship's neural net, not from Kale, but from Earth itself. Children of Terra, the vault opens, return to me. The stars warp and the remnants rise, not as survivors, as legends. If this tale of rebirth, vengeance, and legacy lit the fire in your soul, like this video, share it with fellow warriors, and drop a comment with your favorite moment or theory. What do you think lies inside the Genesis vault? And what will the remnants find when they reach Earth? Let us know, and prepare for the next chapter in the Xeno Chronicles.